Violinist for giving us some great instrumental music on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. Good afternoon once again. My name is Kwame A. Welcome to the launch of the Kaya Diplomat, Diary Notes of a Ghanaian Diplomat by Ambassador Kwame A. Tenkorang, published by DigiBooks Ghana Limited. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And at this point, I'd like to call up onto the stage for the opening prayer, Pastor Foley Adama. Let's welcome him.
Let every soul that has the breath of life shout a living hallelujah. Hallelujah. I think you didn't hear it. If you have the breath of the creator of heaven and earth, shout a living hallelujah. Hallelujah. Very good. On this note, because you have the breath, let us stand together and begin to thank God. Let us stand together and thank the Almighty God. Let us thank him because this is the day he has made. It is a very special day in our sight, and it is marvelous. Join me in this prayer. Emmanuel, name is God. Your name is God. Emmanuel, oh, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, oh, Emmanuel. Your presence here is what we pray. Begin to thank God this afternoon. Thank Him, thank Him. Open your mouth and say it. A time is coming, you will not be able to open your mouth. God has given us the opportunity, even this book to launch. Say thank you to Lord. Thank Him, thank Him, thank Him. In Jesus' name. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you this day. We lift every soul before you. Let your hand of salvation come upon our lives. Grant us this day the liberty and the victory to launch this book. In the name of Jesus, Father, we present one of your servants who in his assignment in the land of the living has put everything together in a book form. Your word declares that you yourself will come in the volume of the books that is written. Therefore, your servant, Ambassador Kwame Tenkorang, has put the assignment you are giving to him in a book form so that many souls will come into contact with it. Therefore,
and the former chairman of the National Media Commission. Let's welcome our chair for his remarks, Nana Kwesi Jan Apenting.
Representative of former President Mahama, distinguished friends, Your Excellencies, as you heard, I'm only the stand-in chair. So obviously, I've not prepared to give a chairman's remarks because the chairman is on his way. Luckily, the chairman is the Osaberma and Sansasreku Mamfihini and Chidomhini of Ekwapim. He's been delayed because there's an Ekwapim State Council meeting. So we elected Ambassador Cabral to stand in for him, but he said he's not a chief. So he's pushed it on me, which is not fair. But so welcome everybody to this book launch. We have said that when the chairman comes in, we will swear him in for him to execute his mandate. So on his behalf, and on behalf of the author, publisher, we welcome all of you and hope that we are going to have a splendid time here this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Acting Nana Chair. And as you can see, we have a seat reserved for the chairman when he arrives. Now, when I asked the person to deliver the welcome address how he would like to be described, he says, keep it simple. And I am not the one to go against his orders. And so, let's welcome for the welcome address, Vice President of the Council on Foreign Relations, Ghana, Ambassador Cabral Blay. I'm here.
I don't see that, you know. Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The acting chair, the rep of former President John Mahama, the author, publisher, the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Ghana's Parliament, Your Excellencies, mine is a very simple task, which is to welcome all of you, our distinguished guests, to this august occasion. I offer the apologies of the President of the Council, Ambassador Dike Osei, who is engaged in another assignment, but he's here with us in spirit. And I see with us a patron of the Council and some members of the Council. I cannot assume that all of you gathered here know much about the Council of Foreign Relations, Ghana. About 4 years ago, in this very room, the Council was inaugurated by the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It commenced in 2011, but became operational in 2019. You may ask, what is the Council about? We are a non-partisan, non-governmental think tank devoted to the study of Ghana's foreign policy, international affairs, and diplomacy. Our membership is quite broad-based, made up of retired diplomats, bankers, finance experts, academia, media, and communication experts, as well as retired military officers. What are our aims and objectives? Among other things, our aim is to undertake research into Ghana's foreign policy and international relations. The second objective is to organize seminars, workshops, and conferences on international issues. The third objective is to create a platform for visiting dignitaries and others to share their perspectives on public and international issues. And based on this initiative or this aim, we launched the Distinguished Guest Lecture Series. And during the COVID period, we organized about 15 or so virtual conferences. Now, today's event is a manifestation of one of our key objectives, which is to publish books, journals, and memoirs of retired diplomats and other professionals. In this regard, we have a journal called a Baobab, which comes out twice a year. And next month, we intend to publish a major publication titled Contemporary Issues in Foreign Policy, Diplomacy, and International Affairs. If you may allow me to focus on today's book, I have had the privilege to be part of the journey of the author, and therefore I can speak to it, but I'll leave that to the reviewer. As part of our objective to publish memoirs of retired diplomats, this is the third book event that we are hosting. The first one was a book by our president, Ambassador Dikose, titled Privileged Conversations, The Experiences of an African Diplomat. And then we did a posthumous publication of a pioneer diplomat, Alex Kwesinsaki, titled The Makings of a Diplomatist, The Memoirs of Ambassador Alex Kwesinsaki, which was edited by a member of the council, her daughter, Awu Kwesinsaki. So this is the third one that we are doing, and we're hoping that we'll be able to publish more books. I want to commend the author for this bold initiative to publish his memoirs. I am happy to see a couple of writers on the days, and writing is a very lonely experience. There are frustrations along the line, and in the publishing industry that we have in Ghana, when you decide to publish your book or write your book, you end up financing every stage of the publication. And that may account for why you don't have too many books written by our retirees. I did a little research, and between the publication of Dr. Alex Kwesisaki's book, Africa Unbound, in 1965, and the publication of his last book in 2021, only about a dozen of retired diplomats have written their memoirs. And when you consider the number of accomplished diplomats who have served this country and other professionals, I think it's a vacuum that needs to be addressed. As they say, Titubika, and it is when we have retired or men and women of experience writing their books and memoirs that we can add to the literary experience of this country. Imagine the Krobodusers, the Kojubu Uchus, the Bedemans had written their experience as politicians. It will have defined the level of political discourse that we have in this country. In this regard, the council intends in the coming weeks and months to establish a special fund to support our retired diplomats to write books. And when the time comes, I'm hoping that we can bank on your support. When it comes to the author, as I said, we've been working together. And he was, when we decided to revive the council, he played a very major role in reviving it, and he serves as the general secretary. Now, every day he's in the office trying to make sure that the council thrives and makes an impact. We come a long way. He used to be my mate at the Kwafu Hall, and I knew he wanted to be a journalist, but God had a better purpose for his life. But he's ended up turning to his first love. So if you go to his Facebook, you see every week he makes very useful comments on the national affairs. But what ties our links is a personal one. I think there's a song that said, "Last night DJ saved my life." We were doing an internship at Akwetia. It's a long story, I can't tell it here. And he saved my life, for which I owe him an eternal gratitude. So I'm here in a personal capacity and also as the Vice President of the Council of Foreign Relations. Well done, Ambassador Tenkorang, and we expect to see more books from your pen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Cabral. I'm in here. Yeah, I think he deserves another round of applause. Thank you. The next speaker joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ghana as a young Foreign Service officer in 1976, 47 years ago. and by dint of hard work, rose through the ranks from A5 Foreign Service Officer to reach the top as A1 and the rank of Ambassador. During this period, our speaker served in many capacities within the Ghana Foreign Service, both at home and abroad. He was first secretary, then later counselor at the permanent mission to the United Nations office in Geneva, minister counselor in Tokyo, Japan, deputy high commissioner in Abuja, Nigeria, deputy head of mission in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, back to Abuja, ambassador to the Libyan Arab Jamahiriya, and concurrently accredited as high commissioner to Malta, ambassador to Japan with concurrent accreditation as high commissioner to Singapore, high commissioner to Kenya, concurrently accredited to Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, and Eritrea. Back in the ministry, as a result of a policy of rotation, our next speaker started from the Information Division to Estates, Finance and Accounts, Africa and OAU, Personnel Administration in Europe. Later, he became Director for Policy Planning and Research, personal assistant to two different ministers of foreign affairs, Dr. Obed Asamoah and Ambassador James Victor Berho, as well as Chief of Protocol. To cap all these assignments, our speaker first occupied the position of Deputy Director of State Protocol, serving the then Vice President, Professor John Evans Atta Mills. While holding the rank of ambassador and at post in Japan, our speaker was recalled home from that high office to serve as Director of State Protocol, a position he held under the tenure of two presidents, President Atta Mills and President John Dramani Mahama. Since retirement, our speaker has become more passionate about cocoa farming and writing on various issues about national life in Ghana. Currently, he's General Secretary of the Council on Foreign Relations Ghana, an independent think tank on foreign affairs and foreign policy issues. Football and tennis remain his favorite sports. Our speaker is married to Gloria and is blessed with 4 offsprings, now adults, Kweku, Koko, Nanekua, and Asantewa. This is also the adorable Sika, the granddaughter. Let's welcome our author, Ambassador Kwame A. Tenkorang.
Thank you very much. You see, we have the ancient and the modern. Cabral came here with, what do you call that thing? A laptop, eh? Notebook, whatever. I have my paper here, which clearly shows that I was born before the computer. And I know I have many classmates on that score in this room. But I want to thank you all very much for coming. The representative of the former President Mahama, standing chairman, excellencies and honorables, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for honoring the invitation to be present today. I am excited by your attendance at this event, which is an attestation of the support, recognition, and endorsement which you have given my work. I do not intend to be selective, but permit me to recognize the representatives of the additional class of 70 who are here. These are tiny tots that met in Okwapma in 1965, and we have remained friends and brothers and sisters up to today. Thank you very much for coming. And I want to specifically appreciate our class prefect, Mr. Riji. Thank you. Following that, let me also recognize the Blau 7072 fraternity, which is also present here. Atama, our life president. Can you lift your... We owe you a debt of gratitude and for mobilizing our colleagues to be here this afternoon. Next are the HANFA colleagues and the AFSO. HANFA is an association that was in the Foreign Ministry in the mid-70s. We formed this association for our own good. But one of our prominent activities, even though informal, was our trips to what we call presidential in those days. Presidential is a base around the castle where we used to go and eat yoke gari. In the 1990s, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs used to produce a newsletter. I was editor of this newsletter at some point on account of being the director of the bureau that produced it. I wrote many short stories which I used my directorship to see published. I don't know how readers reacted to the various articles or stories in general. However, one in particular attracted so much interest, judging by reactions received in my editor's office. That story was titled Kaya Diplomat. If it was a commodity, I think I would have paid a fortune from it, because the reactions and the ratings were excellent. Some of the articles I wrote and published in those years were Roadblock number 1, Roadblock number 2, Fufu in Paradise, Bend Down Boutique, and Kwakwe Last Stop. The thrill of acceptance and high regard urged me on, but the shackles of the job prevailed, especially with oaths of office, secrecy, and what have you. To cut that story short, I promised myself that I would venture into some writing one day, even as a hobby. When I was leaving Nairobi in May 2017, at the end of an eventful career, there was no doubt in my mind that writing was going to occupy a chunk of my time. So far, I believe I have not disappointed myself. Now to the Kaya Diplomat. Diary Notes of a Ghanaian Diplomat. I still lifted the inspiration from the earlier title and its relevance to the story I was about to tell to get me going. Many people, both near and far, have asked me, why Kaya Diplomat? Many cannot reconcile the prestige of the status of a diplomat and the description Kaya. Others alluded to Rastafarian connotations, but I don't intend to answer it here. Wait and read for yourself. In case there is doubt in anybody's mind, let me quickly erase that by saying that I had a story to tell, and I have told the story in the best way I could. Essentially, the Kaya Diplomat, Diary Notes of a Ghanaian Diplomat, is unique in the sense that it is my story. For a career spanning 41 years, many other characters are naturally part of that story. But like the fable of the 8 blind men who went to see the elephant, each one came out with his own impression of what the elephant looked like. In the same way, I wish readers will appreciate my version of events recounted and therefore my impression. Again, many people have asked me whether what I have written are my memoirs. My answer is yes and no. To the extent that it does not cover a significant period of my life, namely the first quarter century, from birth till I joined the Foreign Service at 25. In that respect, it is not the totality of my memoirs, but it is my story. Again, let me say that I admit that I did not set out to write a textbook. However, the lessons contained in this book cannot be ignored. If in the narration of my personal experiences in the various episodes presented in this book, one finds examples of what a practitioner needs to assemble as a guide and compulsory reading material, then so be it. In this respect, I urge LESIAD and other institutions of learning and research and anybody else aspiring for lessons to guide them from a practitioner on a path well trodden. I recommend this book because there are experiences for everyone. And as they say, experiences will always differ in various degrees, but it's nothing better than having a hand that guides. I have been encouraged by many colleagues from the Foreign Ministry who preceded me in, as it were, putting pen to paper. And I have them to thank for their pace-setting exploits. Many more should sign up and put pen to paper because there is wisdom in every sentence that you can muster the courage to put down. Posterity will find it something worth. Okay. I'm just finishing. The Foreign Service will be better for that, in the sense that many more experiences will be available for study and guidance. The feeling of excitement these days spurs me on. I want more of it. And the only way to experience it again is to write again. The whole of my retirement is before me, and I intend to utilize it to the maximum. Finally, let me acknowledge some people who were very crucial in getting this book done. The publisher, of course, is there, but I want to focus on the editors, those who helped me in editing the script that I did. Sometimes when you are typing deep in the night, even though the lights are on, you begin to feel that you are beginning to see less, or cobwebs are entering your eyes. And so you need people who can look at these things for you. Let me acknowledge the exploits of Charles Apalu. Where is he? He did one of the editors. Ambassador Kuyadansua was also part of the. Nike Bentiential is not here, but he was also a great part of this. Finally, let me also acknowledge the contribution of Nana Kwesi Jaya-Pintin. I did not want to mention him because immediately I sit down, he's coming here to do the review. And I did not want to mention him in case somebody thought that I was bribing him. So, Nana, thank you very much. And let me take this opportunity to welcome Nana Mafihine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll give you a king. Our author, Ambassador Tenkorang. And now the acting chairman promised that he would swear in the substantive chairman, so I haven't forgotten.
So, dear friends, as you can see, our substantive chairman, Nana Ansasa Sreku, is the Mamfihine, and Chidomhine of Ekwapim has come in and is taking his seat. So at this point, I'm very happy to hand over my chairman's duties to him. And yes, please, let's welcome him. So Nana says he's been duly sworn in, and that we should continue. I didn't hear that one. So Nana says we should continue, and you rather give his closing remarks at the end. So welcome, Nana, and thank you very much. So at this point, speaking as myself, I am here to kind of say a few words about the book. So Nana Chairman, representative of His Excellency President John Mahama, Ambassador Cabral Bliami here, Ambassador, the author, Mr. Labi, publisher, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, Honorables, all other protocols, let me stand on the existing and stated ones. I'm really thrilled to perform the role of reviewer of this book, The Kaya Diplomat, written by Ambassador Tenkorang. Let me start by paying tribute to a man who is not here, who is not connected at all to what we are doing here. But I felt for an interesting reason, we should pay tribute to a man called Kwaku Opokwa Champong. And you wonder who this man was. He was the founder of Okwapiman School in Akropong Ekwapim. And today, the author, I know some Accra Academy people here might be misguided enough to think he belongs to them. But we claim him. The author is from Okwapiman. The chairman is from Okwapiman. The publisher is from Okwapiman. And I, reviewer, I'm also from Okwapiman. So we have taken over this business. And it is because we went to a very good school, as you would hear in a moment. Only anymore so it's true. So, dear friends, Kaya Diplomat is a funny title for a memoir written by an accomplished diplomat about his time in the diplomatic service. But I think the very choice of title gives us a window into the man's soul, which is one of the many reasons why this book is both enigmatic and engaging. So I've known the author for about 60 years, since we wore khaki shorts in school. We also met at Legon. Unfortunately, he was not fortunate enough to be a vandal. So we didn't run in the same circles, but we were aware of one another's presence. And after school, I was aware of the tremendous progress he was making because I would hear of him in dispatches from mutual friends. However, our paths crossed in a very interesting way in 1998, during the commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the Economic Commission for Africa. At the time, I was in self-imposed exile in the UK and avoided contact with Ghanaian officials as much as I could. But I was covering the event in Addis when, keeping a low profile, Professor Mills, who was then vice president and as head of the Ghana delegation, fished me out. I was standing by somewhere. It was very interesting. All the big people were in their cars in a convoy. I saw one coming towards me. And then I saw the Ghana flag. And he stopped and said, "Hey, John, hey, Denwa." So, Prof, he said, no, you must come tonight to the ambassador's residence because I'm meeting all Ghanaians. So I go and, Prof's humility, he actually met me at the door. And I told him I had to travel back that night, but he said, stay for a little bit. So as I was leaving, he said, don't let anybody scare you out of Ghana. Come, and when you get to the airport, I'm going to give you a number. Call that number. Of course, I wasn't going to call him because if they gets you at the airport, before you can call him, you know what would have happened to you. But I had to agree to take his number. And he said, so let me call my special person who has this number. We are standing by the taxi, and he goes in and comes with, this special person is none other than Ambassador Tenkorang, the author of this book. The funny thing is, Prof begins to introduce him to me. So we are both standing there very quietly, and he says, oh, John, this is Mr. Tenkorang, my protocol officer, and all that. Then we burst out laughing and said we are from the same, we were schoolmates. And this is what he said. We're more problem, but you must have gone to a very good school. And this is the reason why I'm telling you this story. We went to a good school. So, dear friends, on the face of it, this book is about the author's progress up the professional ladder and expansively through the wider world as he pursued his peripatetic job as a diplomat. But before beginning that illustrious career, he had considered becoming a journalist after his national service teaching job at Yendi. In fact, his Yendi escapades alone are worth the price of the book. And yet, that is only the beginning of a very fascinating life. In fact, if the headmaster of Yendi Secondary School had not hidden his admission letter from an American university where he was to do his master's in journalism, this would have been a completely different book, and the title could be The Kaya Journalist. A further twist in the tale is that he was actually recruited by the administration of the University of Ghana and worked briefly at the registry. So another title could have been The Kaya at Legon. But as it happened, the author joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1976 as part of an intake that boasts several people who in later life became well-known personalities, including people like Ambassador D.K. Osei, Neo Samuels, and others. It would be lovely to hear that he rose through the ranks as seamlessly as an angel through the clouds. But it did not happen that way. He encountered his first crisis when the ministry decided not to credit him with his first 2 years, which is known as temporary service. That issue was successfully resolved, but it must have served as a warning that things can get rough in the Ghana civil service. In fact, as any reader of spy novels would know, the diplomatic service is riddled with intrigue. And it turns out that the stories of James Bond are not pure fiction. Conspiracies and their theories abound even within the diplomatic establishment themselves. I was in fact amused at the apparent apprehension within the ministry when a group was recruited. When the PNDC came to power, they stopped all recruitment, but then suddenly a group was recruited. Naturally, they were voiced with, they were seen as some kind of spies brought in by Rollins and his people. And why I was amused was that this happened at Graphic, it happened everywhere, where a new crop of people would come in and the PNDC, and these people would be seen, we were scared of them. And when I joined Graphic, I was one of them. People were afraid of me, which wasn't a bad thing. Occasionally, if people are afraid of you, it helps, to, when you come, you throw some airs, and that's it. The result was that for a moment, but it didn't last long, where a number of his fellow officers were secretly labeled as Rollins people. This is just one small but important episode, which highlights the running drama and tensions at work in most establishments, but probably more rife in the foreign service. It underscores the need for skill in navigating the treacherous waters of Ghana's political and civil service establishment. The late Colin Powell, the American soldier and politician, observed that, quote, diplomacy is listening to what the other guy needs, preserving your own position but listening to the other guy. You have to develop relationships with other people so that when the tough times come, you can work together. what you learn about the author is that he absolutely imbibed the definition provided by Powell in his own life and work. The author has truly scaled the greasy pole of his profession, but has not slipped. Instead, he has risen from the lowly ranks from which the title of the book is derived to the dizzying heights of ambassador, for which we must refer to him as His Excellency. His stations in life have included some spectacular locations such as Geneva, Tokyo, Abuja, Addis Ababa, Tripoli, Tokyo again, Abidjan, Lusaka, Johannesburg. Please, let's stop this list. It will be easier to list the capitals he has not visited. And my advice to readers is to find a companion globe, to find a globe or an atlas, so that when you are reading, you are tracing his path around the world. And when you reach every capital, I urge you to stop, because this man describes. He makes you feel that you are in that capital. It's not just that, like, I've been here, I've been there, but what takes place and his attention to detail is fascinating. Similarly, given the many important portfolios he has managed within the Foreign Service, you'll not be surprised that there's a tall list of distinguished people he has met, including saints like Mandela and Kofi Annan. But of course, he has also met many rogues. And still, it will be easier to compile a list of those he has not met. And his superb pen portraits bring these personalities to life. So, it's not surprising that a senior career diplomat would travel to many places and know many people. But many people and many places do not themselves become a book. You need a real writer to put together all these experiences into one of the best books I have read lately. In the first place, you see, what has happened is that I wanted to show them, so instead of paper, I came with the tablet, and now the place is gone away and I can't find it. That's what happens when you try to pretend to be like one of the young ones, you see. So I have found it. I found my place. In the first place, this is a book of many books. Ambassador Tenkorang could have written at least 3 books with this material. His own life is a fascinating one. Here we learn about his growth and development as a person, as a family man, as a parent, and as an upstanding member of society. There are scores of episodes and anecdotes that constitute that one line of narrative. He's a man totally committed to his family, and it is clear that his wife, Gloria, his children, and the way he's carried himself in that private sphere itself constitutes a marriage manual, which could be aptly titled, How Not to Conduct a Kaya Relationship. Kwame has an enduring quality of loyalty to his friends, and this book mentions as many people with whom he has formed lasting friendships, and I know quite a few of them from our Legon days. Secondly, his career in the Foreign Service has its own stories that hold the reader spellbound as he cavorts from one mandate to another, and they are full of situations as fascinating as you could find in any Cold War novel. In truth, most people like us know very little about the workings of the diplomatic process and the people who drive it. So this book, and together with ones that Ambassador Cabral mentioned, are among the most detailed reports from that front that lay people would probably ever read. And the attention to detail and its memory recall are phenomenal. No wonder the book's subtitle is Diary Notes. Nothing is passed over or forgotten. And all those strands come together to present a cinematic presentation of the diplomatic life. Then there's the specific service under Presidents Atta Mills and John Mahama. That could also fill a couple of books. Indeed, the intrigues in presidential ensembles appear to be as fascinating as in the Foreign Service itself, perhaps even more so. There are several instances when the author, in his various mandates, had to battle internal, deliberate, and unintended oppositions while serving these former presidents. So there's a chapter called The President's Men. It is a gem. When you get there, take your time and enjoy it. But also on a more somber note, we read about the passing of President Mills and the transition to President Mahama. Ambassador Tenkorang was the director of state protocol and the protocol officer to the president and had to play his role. Above all, dear friends, as with every good biography, this book is more about the times and tides of his era than even about the author. He has helpfully named chapters after the various governments under which he served, so it is a veritable history of the last quarter of the 20th century and the first decade of the 21st century in Ghana. These are just a few of the many strands within the narratives of the book. However, these are not disjointed narratives. These stories are woven together like an intricate kente cloth full of patterns and color. The fact is that this man can write. It pains me that he chose diplomacy over journalism, but I'm happy that in his retirement he has picked up his laptop or his pen and has been sharing his nuggets of thoughts with the world. And boy, he is funny. The sense of humor that runs through this book is a major strength. In the hands of a lesser writer, these stories could be worthy but dull. But this book will make you smile, chuckle, and many times laugh out loud for people to turn and ask, is this person correct? You will notice that we have still not told you the story, how the title came about. It's been hinted at. But very soon the book will be available for you to laugh about the episode that created the title. It is that kind of book. And as usual with these high standards, DigiBooks, the publisher, has done a good job in the overall packaging and presentation of this book. It comes highly recommended. I thank you for your attention.
As always, a wonderful review by a worthy wordsmith. Nana, thank you so much. That was just great. It's whetted your appetite enough to go and get the book. Before we have the book launched by our special guest of honor, permit me to introduce our very talented professional violinist, totally self-taught, and she has been practicing this craft for the past 10 years. Let's welcome back onto the stage, Nana, the violinist, as a prelude to our guest speaker's performance. Lovely. Wonderful. Well done. Yeah. Should we give a special prize for anybody who can name all the artists that were performed there? There were 5 songs there. Special prize. All right, that sets us up really nicely for our guest, special guest of honor. And he will also do the honors of launching the book. So our special guest of honor is a former High Commissioner to Namibia and Botswana. At various points in his life, he's been an editor, a columnist. He's also an author of a book published in 2019. Awinipan Kasa, Good Beats, Don't Talk. It's a book on the Mahama years as president and his own experiences as a diplomat. Let's welcome our very special guest of honor, representing the former president of the Republic, Ambassador Alhaji Haruna Atta.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Nana Osabarima, you know, I've always regarded you as one of, if not the most handsome traditional leader in Ghana. And I'm not joking. I always say it. Anytime he appears, I say, oh, these Kwiapin people, they know how to choose traditional rulers. Thank you, Nana, for coming to grace this occasion for us. We welcome you. When you said you were held up in some long meetings, I said we're even being too optimistic to expect you to come on time, because traditional rulers, someone is pulling you here, another there, another there. How you manage it, honest, I don't know, but you've come. Thank you, Nana. As you can see, I'm not holding any prepared speech. His Excellency President Mahama said to me that the speech is ready. The speech you would have delivered is ready. But it contains a lot of policy issues on education, on diplomacy, foreign relations, so many issues that he wants to deliver himself. And at the appropriate time, he would do it, and it would appear in many things he does. So, Ambassador Tenkorang, he has you here. So he says I should assure that the speech is there, but it will be delivered at the appropriate time, because these are very important issues, especially the book industry. And I'm so happy the ranking member of Foreign Affairs is here. He was Deputy Minister for Education at the time, and I know how he was struggling with books for the schools. I don't know how you managed it, Honorable Okujetu. So doing a book is very dear to most politicians' heart. I mean, the politicians who care. So he says that would be done. So actually, there's no need to belabor that. But then that also gives me the opportunity to also say a few words, especially regarding what we are doing today, launching a book, diplomacy, and generally dealing with ourselves as colleagues. But I have to get a name out, not because I'm being discriminatory, but someone I really respect. He knows it, he's here. He's going to be shocked when I mention his name. He's looking at me there. Ambassador Wadie. For me, Ambassador Wadie is one of the best. All of you are best diplomats, sorry, but I've dealt with him directly. That's why I'm there's no offense meant. You're ready, I'll grow. I remember during, whether the 2016 or 2015, the Press Freedom Day being celebrated in Helsinki. President Mahama was then a co-chair of the Millennium Development Goals, and he was supposed to go and deliver a speech. And he delegated me to do it, because I had also been invited as someone known in the media, in the Ghanaian media. So I had been invited on my own merit, and then the president, his own merit as our head of state and a member of the MDGs. So it was left to me to prepare something to deliver. I did a long thing. I sent it down to Accra for vetting. It was passed, all right, but then I felt I needed the eyes of an experienced diplomat, not just an appointed one like me, but someone who's a professional. And I've dealt with Ambassador Wadie, so I sent the whole text to him where he was serving. And to my chagrin, surprise, and whatever, he returned it to me and said, there's nothing I can add or remove. so I said, oh, Ambassador, he said, look, you've got everything right. So, well, I went and delivered it. The rest is history. Having said that about him, I also have come to know that the top quality civil servants are our foreign service officers. From their whatever until they rise to the head of mission level. I have dealt with them, and I've dealt with civil servants, and I know what I'm talking about. When it comes to government workers, you are the non-pruls, you are top of the range. So no one can actually play down the quality of foreign service officers and heads of mission. When I served as head of mission for both Namibia and Botswana, I realized that quality, the importance of having a crop or a core of very well-educated people. And I mean it, and you are amongst the top educated people in the country. I would like to see you occupying more posts even on your retirement. But we are in a country or countries where partisan politics just denies us the people to build our nation. You are the people who should build our nation because that's the average Ghanaian civil servant or the average Ghanaian public servant doesn't know. So I stand here to extol your values because I believe in it, and I believe President Mahama also believes in it. That's why he said he won't let me just come and read a speech. He would like to deliver it himself. So, having said that, I'll just give you one or two examples of the interesting field you find yourselves in. That is the practice of diplomacy. I tried reading Henry Kissinger's book on diplomacy. I got tired a quarter way because of the meat of the activities a senior diplomat like him was involved in. Margaret Thatcher's book on the Maastricht Treaty and so on, eventually I put that away because it needs brain work to be involved in diplomatic negotiations. If you don't have it, you can't do it. It's as simple as that. So you people, you have it, flaunt it. I think some of you are not flaunt it, write it, like Ambassador Tenkorang has done. Flaunt it. Ambassador Dike Osetu has done it, and I know a few other of your colleagues who've also done it. Please do it, because you have a lot of information to inspire the country, not just younger people, the country. So when I went at first, I discovered that there had been a mix-up about a state visit President Mahama was to pay to Botswana. And they had reserved the opening of the Decathlon Dam. It's a big water dam project because it's a thirsty nation. And if they don't have dams and so on, their rivers do dry up. But this was a major keynote project. And they had honored our president to come and open it with President Kwame. And there was a disconnect between the Foreign Office here and Abuja, where they had their High Commission, and so correspondents would go to Abuja before coming here. For some reason, both our High Commissioner and their High Commissioner in Abuja were blindsided. So the invitation didn't reach President Mahama till I took office in 2013, June. And we're now receiving a flurry of letters from the Foreign Ministry that they haven't heard from us, and it was 1 week left for the event. So what would you do as a greenhorn diplomat? So I just asked my staff, and they said, well, you have to write to the president to sort of diplomatically accept blame, apologize to his colleague in Botswana, and fix a date. I didn't know. I was very apprehensive. I didn't want to be recalled. But it took me a day or two. I mustered the courage, and I wrote to President Mahama. And as generous and as gentlemanly as he is, he immediately took my advice. They wrote to President Kwame. He took the blame. President Mahama took the blame. And so things were fixed nicely, and the visit was postponed to the next year, which luckily happened. So diplomacy is a very tricky business. The professionals, as you are, I know you've read all the books, but then the aspects of diplomacy that brings your hairs falling apart, they don't happen from textbooks. Because this conundrum I was faced with, I'm not a professionally trained diplomat, but you have to think. And that's why I put you ahead of all other civil servants, because you think when you make mistakes, it's not only you or your department, it's the whole country. For a diplomatic officer to make a cock-up like they did between Ghana and Botswana, it involved two countries. So it's very important. So when I went at first, like I said, I didn't know what to do. Credentials Day, you may know her, Salamatu Yakubu, fantastic officer. So she was my, what do they call them? The head of chancery, yeah. And then Tete, he was the whatever, something officer. So we sat down and they said they have reports that President Kwame does not suffer fools gladly at all. So I should prepare well before going for my credentials. So I said, okay, so what do I do? So they said we should be very detailed. So they sat down, we prepared a document for me to present after my credentials have been presented. You won't believe this. It was a big day. He was receiving many diplomats, and they were coming and going. So as soon as I walked into his office, he said, Your Excellency, sit down, sit down. Our hearts were broken. And I didn't know what he was driving at. We were all sitting down supporting Ghana. And that last goal, it broke our hearts. And I'm not a football person. I swear, I'm not a football person at all. So it took me a number of seconds to connect that our match with Côte d'Ivoire, that AFCON. And now I was just trying to find words. Then he took over. I didn't know he was a football fanatic. I didn't know he was a football. So I had to find things out. And in trying to escape, I got myself into more trouble because I then said, oh, in my former profession as a journalist, he bristled, a journalist, the people I don't like. So, yeah. So he said, if only they will write the truth, your people, if only you will write the truth, it's the lies. I have stopped reading my country's newspapers, I've stopped listening to the media, the lies. Now I was sweating. Why did I move from frying pan to fire? But again, as a diplomat, you should think fast on your feet, very, very fast. Then I remember having seen him when he was vice president on an episode of Jeremy Clarkson's Top Gear, which was produced then in Botswana. So I said, oh, Your Excellency, and I did see you with Jeremy Clarkson in the desert on Top Gear. Then he brightened up. Oh, you did? Yeah, they called me. You know, the environmental issues are so dear to me. So when they were coming to film, well, I cooperated with them. So it quickly went to environmental issues, of which I also have quite a lot of knowledge. So then we started talking. We were talking of CITES. We were talking of the Ramsar Conventions. So I said, now I've got the man. So it became very convivial, and he didn't want me to leave. Then the subjects were finishing. Now I had to think fast. So my Salah Yakubu was a nice kente, And for me, the proud Dagomba man that I am, I was in a fugu, nice fugu. So I said, Your Excellency, maybe before you dismiss us, I want to explain a small cultural thing to you. My head of chancery is wearing some fabric which may have attracted you and mine too. Hers is what we call kente back home. It's our top range local fabric. He said, who doesn't know about kente? Who doesn't know about kente? It's beautiful, beautiful. So I said, well, mine is from northern Ghana. So he said, yeah, I noticed the colors are duller. So I said, yes, the northern. So we had a convivial time. And the interesting thing is that when I left, when I was leaving his office, there were the officials gathered at his door. They had their ears to the door. When I came, what were you discussing with him? He normally doesn't tolerate these things for more than 5 to 10 minutes. You were in there for 20, 25 minutes. I said, well, I don't know, but I interested him. So diplomacy also depends on your own character as a person. Also the education, you have it. There is no doubt whatsoever about it. I know many foreign officers, your minimum degree is a master's degree. I know. So, so that one, don't talk about, but you have to develop your own diplomatic character. Then another thing that happened to me back in my seat of Namibia, also Credentials Day, and I had gone to present my credentials to President Pohamba. As soon as I got in, he said, hey, Ghana, Akwaba. Not being a tree speaker myself, I didn't know how to answer. Though I'm married to an Ashanti woman, my late wife, deep pedigree Ashanti, but like a typical Northerner, we don't learn other people's languages. So I can't speak Tree. So President Pohamba said, Akwaba. I nearly sank into the floor, but I didn't know how to answer. So again, quick thinking, I said, Medasi. Well, whatever it meant, he took it, well, maybe that was the appropriate answer. And again, that one too, we had a good time. I'm not the one to lecture you about the finer points of diplomacy, but the thing I'm carrying along with this anecdote is that a lot depends on you, your personality as foreign service personnel. A lot about the good relations between countries. So before I take my seat, now a comment on my brother, Ambassador Tenkorang. Before I got to know Ambassador Tenkorang, I swear, I thought he was a very stern-looking man, and I would always avoid him. But when we started serving, I discovered that he's one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life. He is funny. He will make you laugh so much, and he likes certain jokes, adult jokes I can't say here, which I enjoy with him immensely. Especially when we've had a little of the product of the sunshine slopes of France and Spain and so on. And we are very comfortable and we have a good time. So those of you who have not read the book, you must have read his columns in the media and online. He writes fantastic columns. I used to think I was a good columnist, but when I started reading Ambassador Tenkorang, I knew I came nowhere near him. So, Ambassador, once more, congratulations. But, so finally, I take my seat. Yes. Finally, before I take my seat, President Mahama asked me to go ahead with the launching. That one, he can't delay it. So on his behalf, I'll do the launching. And he also gave me an envelope with some nokofio in it for Ambassador Tenkorang. But he made it clear to me that he was not doing an auction. He was buying a copy. So this Nokofio you can see in my, let me take it from my senior. No, it's up. So President Mahama sent this envelope with some Nokofio in it. He says it's meant to buy a copy, not for the auction. That I should make it clear to you. It's meant to buy a copy. So whoever will be doing the auction, okay, they'll come and take it. But don't say the amount until, you are done, so that it doesn't prejudice, whoever. So on behalf of President Mahama and the people of Ghana and the Ministry of the Foreign Ministry and Regional Integration, I wish on behalf of the former president to declare this book. Okay. To declare this book, the Kaya Diplomat, Diary Notes of a Ghanaian Diplomat. Ambassador, congratulations. But finally, an acknowledgement. Uncle Francis Poku is sitting here, and I'm just acknowledging his presence for those of you who don't know Francis Poku. Thank you very much. Thank you. And bless you all. Thank you.
When everybody on the dais is an author, you can be assured of a really interesting time listening to the words of these speakers, great authors, great speakers as well. Let's applaud our special guests, our representative of a special guest, Alhaji Haruna Atta, for a wonderful, wonderful set of remarks. So it's now time to do the auction. Thank you very much, President Mahama. You hear that we said thanks for him buying a copy of the book. All right, so this is where I put on my second hat and go straight into matters of the auction, the fundraiser. We're supporting the author of a very wonderful book, and may more books flow from his pen. So my auctions have 3 simple rules, and they are very brief. We don't take too much time. So the first rule is that if you are not buying, you are clapping. Which means when somebody buys, you're not buying at that moment. So you clap for that person. So let's clap again for President Mahama, who put the first. Now, my second rule is a really personal one. I'm very sensitive to buying signals, very sensitive. My tutors are the people who sell for a living in the streets of all the major towns of Ghana. Those people are very sensitive to eye movements, not even head movements, eye movements, you know? And I know you are a witness to you driving down the road, looking straight, observing traffic regulations, maybe one hand on the light, maybe 2 hands on the steering wheel, and your head doesn't even have to turn. Your eyes turn, and then they are by your window. Say yes. They want to sell you whatever knickknacks they have. So I'm very sensitive to buying signals. If I see your eyes moving in the general direction of my book, I'll assume that you want to buy it. And then I'll come and ask for whatever you want to offer for the book. So your hand going up also is a buying signal for me. So if you want to rearrange your hairstyle, this is the good time to do it. Because when the auction starts, when your hand goes up, I'll think, oh, the guy is calling me to come and buy a book. So that's my second rule, very sensitive to movements, buying signals. The third rule, the final rule, has to do with betrayal. So feel free to betray somebody who you think can buy a book. All right? So if you think the person next to you can buy, you can just, and then I'll come to you. Let's make this fun and very, very, in the spirit of the author whose book I've read. He's quite a very, very interesting, very humorous person. Reminds me a lot of my late father. Very, very humorous. So we're gonna support him to raise some good amount of money for him to seed money for the next book, because we want the next book to come. So those are the rules. If you're not buying, you're clapping. Beware of the sensitivity of me to buying signals, and betrayal is allowed. It's a 320-page book with wonderful pictures. I saw pictures of people that you will know, and the titles of the chapters are really, really fascinating. Kumawood Films, Cardio and Wache. What a combination. Where would you have thought that these three words would be in one sentence? Kumawood Films, Cardio and Wache. That's one of the titles of the chapters. Yeah, another more. Dumso, there's a chapter called Dumso. Ikwadonko also has a chapter dedicated to her. Oh yes, yeah. Stray Dogs, Roads in the Chinese. That's another chapter there for you. In Becky's No Show. Interesting. So lots of chapters here. 7 chapters, 320 pages, hardback, beautiful cover. The foreword is by, let me see. It's by one of the members of our high table, Ambassador Cabral Blay Amihir, Vice President of the Council of Foreign Relations, Ghana. It's well written. It's a beautiful book. Yeah, let's clap for him. Yes. So on that note, I'm looking for the first offer for the book. Let me ask the publisher how many books. Normally we give away lots of books, you know. And then if you buy one, how many do you get? All right, so we've got 40 books to auction, 40 books, roughly for the 40 years that you were in the Foreign Service. Was it 40 years? 41. Yeah, so the 41 is Jara. So 40, yeah, roughly. So if you can multiply 40 by 2.5 and raise 100,000, that would be great. That would be great. So I'm looking for the first offer. I do not mind if you spend a bit of time. We are all Ghanaians, most of us anyway. And you know, in Ghana, we take our time when we are doing our things, okay? Especially when we go to football competitions, where the first game, we decide not to win, okay? We take our time. We will not win. At most a draw. Mostly we lose. Then second game, maybe a draw comes. We're still taking our time. Third game, now we are thinking calculations. If Angola scores 4, and Mozambique scores a draw, and we score 3, we can just go in as a second-placed team to the next round. That's how we are. We take our time. So I know the first offer will come. It will take a little bit of time, but it will come. But let's remember, we're here for a good cause. We're supporting the ambassador to continue his writing. I never knew he wrote on Facebook. In fact, I just told my social media manager to follow him quickly and tag him with the post that we have, because I want to go and read his pieces on Facebook. So we're supporting him. Anonymous contributions are also allowed. So you can just call me, and then I'll take your contribution. If you don't want to be named, it's okay. It's all right. Initially, I want to start with 20,000. You know, these days we're in tough times. You know, I would have asked for 40 or 50, but mercy on us. So I'm looking for initial 20,000. You can come together as a combine. Maybe 3 of you can come together and support him. How you read the book is left to you. I mean, 3 people contributing 20,000 to buy 1 book. You have to do some serious mathematics. In fact, 2 days ago was the National Day of Mathematics, so you will see how you do that. But yes, you can come together and buy. You can buy for your friends as well. And I understand from the publisher that when you buy, you get multiple copies. So for example, if you gave us 10,000, we'll give you 10 copies. You keep 1 at home, and then distribute some to your friends, your colleagues, anybody who you think would want to read a book like this, which tells us of the story of the ambassador from his time in secondary school to Legon to the University of Ghana. Do you have any offers, initial offers, 20s, any 10s? I'll be happy to take them, fellow Ghanaians. Can we have a little bit of music in the background? Yeah. A little bit of music in the background, yes, it works. You go to these supermarkets and then they have music playing, you know, and I ask them, why are they playing music? I just want to shop. They say, well, the music makes people buy. It makes people. So can I have a little bit of instrumental music, middle, in the background, not too loud? And let's support the author. That's why we're here. A hand is up. I said, if you're not buying, you're doing what? Yeah. All right. There was a hand up here. Ah, yes, there was a hand. What's up? You want to mention your name? Joseph. Okay, so Joseph. Narty. N-A-R-T-E-Y. $2,000. All right. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but we have the initial 2,000 US dollars. Mr. Joseph Mate. 2,000 times, is it 12 or 12.5? What's our weight? Give me a weight, give me a weight. 13, let's say it's 13. 13 times 2, 26,000. Wow, I love that. That's what we're talking about. Nice. So please give him 10 of these books, oh. Give him 10. He deserves 10 books. Thank you very much. So that was it. Any more? I'm very sensitive, so just raise your hands, and then we can get some more. Thank you so much, Ghanaians. You're great. I think I'll just use ladies and gentlemen, that's all. Okay, so we have 2,000 inside, the kitty, supporting the ambassador. He was an A-star diplomat, like everybody here, all the diplomats and the foreign service officers who are here. So let's get to 100, 100 is A. Yeah, let's get to 100. That'll be good. Is my music coming middle? Even without the music, we made 2,000. Imagine if the music was played. There you go. Not too loud, not too loud. So let me be giving you one. If anybody raises their hands, just let me know, and I'll go and see you. A couple of the chapters that are here, just to tease you a little bit. We've got Funka Games. Oh, wow. There's a chapter called Funka Games, page 260. Check it out. The Chopper Escape. Another Ben and Stan. I wonder who they are. All right. The Abortive Angola Trip. That's another. The Nana Akufo-Addo Era. So it's a chapter there. Doomsaw is a chapter. All right. Great stuff. Okay. All right. So we have 2,000 in the kitty. Anybody else to raise your hands? Old school students, former foreign service officers, neighbors, relatives, everybody here who's connected to the ambassador in a particular way. Help me, I'm working. If I don't work, I don't get paid. So have pity on the auctioneer. Yeah. Yes. Any hands up in there? Okay. Be careful. You got people who are just raising your glasses and things. I'm watching you. Please don't raise your glasses. I think you want to buy. Yeah. Thank you. That's us. A betrayal has just happened, gentlemen. Somebody has been betrayed. Yeah. Let me go and see who it is. Which room? Second lane. I'm supposed to go to the second lane. My GPS says I should go to the second lane. All right. He was mentioned in one of the speeches. Yeah, he's in one of the committees. Parliament. And he's been betrayed by a good friend. I'm coming to him, boss. Someone, I could you to a black one. 5,000 Ghana CDs. If you're not giving, you're clapping. If you're not buying, you're clapping. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, Charlie. I didn't betray him, his own friend. Call him the insect in the cloth. But that's good. Friendly betrayal. We're helping a good cause. So if we've made 23, 6 plus 5, 31. Yeah, that's not bad. We're going there. At 31, those of you who are teachers, 31% is what grade? Like an E? No, we want to get to A. It's an F. No. Free flight from France. We don't want that. We want to get to A. A star. So thank you so much, Honorable Akujito Ablakwa, for that. People are still raising their hands. Okay. I've got about 15 minutes more. Let's push it up. Let's push it. Let's support the author. Yeah, come together. Give us a pledge. It doesn't have to be on the spot. You can pledge. You can give us a check. You can give us, Bank of Ghana is not here. You can give us dollars. No problem. Give us dollars. Give us CDs. Yeah, give him multiple books. Oh, he's given a lot. Yes. Yeah. We take Momo as well. There's a Momo number, yes. So if you have Momo. There's some hands up. Yeah, this is good. We should be doing more auctions in this place. So very gentlemanly. Just raise their hands and then they come. All right, boss. Is it a betrayal? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yes, sir. So we have an anonymous of 5,000 CDs. So we're at 36,000. Okay, I can read it. Okay. To the auctioneer. I like this kind of love letters. To auctioneer. University of Ghana, School of Law, 5,000 CDs. So we're at 41,000. And then Atuguba and Associates Law Firm, another 5,000. So we're at 46,000. All right. Like it. Yes. Give them more than 2 books, oh. Hey, 5,000, give them enough. The author is there. Give them enough books. Yeah. So we're at 46,000. Awesome. Please take that receipt. There's a hand that is up. Is there a hand up? There's a hand up. So we're at 46. 46 is what grade? Are we at E now? We're at E now. The teachers are telling us things. All right. The music is working too. Mido, thanks. Anonymous, 5,000. We're at 51. Thank you very much. So where are we at? 51? Yes, we are 51. We are going to 61,000 now because 10,000 has been donated. Yeah, by his classmates from University of Ghana, Legon, 10,000 CDs. So we're at 61. What grade is 61? Is it a C? It's a D. Charlie, from E to D, F to D is taking too long, eh? 61,000. Okay, good. We're not bad. We're doing well. We're doing well. More hands are up. Maybe we'll get to B right now. So 61,000. Good. Good stuff. All right. Boss. Honorable Suyini. Yes. 4,000 CDs. He not only did the betrayal, but he also gave, which is great. So we're at 65,000. 65. Honorable Suyini, give him multiple books. Multiple books. Please serve the man who gave 10,000, please. 10,000 CDs in the corner, and then there's a 5,000 there as well. We're at 65,000, ladies and gentlemen. Let's push it. Let's get to 100. This is a 100% kind of event that we want. So we're at 65,000. What grade is 65? Teachers? It's a C. No, we don't want C. Let's get to A. Let's get to A. Yeah, it's good. 65. Okay, all right. So any more organizations, any more people, friends, family? Let me describe some photos for you. Yeah, just to whet your appetite a little bit. We're almost done. This is the last item of the show, after which the publisher will speak, and then we're done for the day. It will go into history that on this day, the 16th of March 2023, the book was launched. I see a picture there of the ambassador with the tallest president in Africa. Who is he? Who's the tallest president in Africa? This is for a prize. Who's the tallest president in Africa? He's very tall. This was a hand up. The hand was up. Where's the hand? In the corner. Which corner? Who raised their hand, please? No, I don't think anybody raised their hand here. In the corner? Oh, you're betraying. Oh, okay. Nice one. Good betrayer. Yeah, boss, you've been betrayed. So Castings Group and Muduniru from India are giving us 10,000 Ghana CDs. Give them lots of books. We're now at 75. What grade is 75%? What grade is 75? B. Okay, now let's go to B+. Nana Bosra, 5,000 is taking us to 80,000 CDs. Let's serve Nana. Give him lots of books. Give him lots of books. Yes, 80,000. 80 is a B, right? Or it's a B+? What's 80? B+. Okay, let's go to A. Let's go to A. Good. It's a very generous audience. You love the author, so you came here to support him. Yeah, thank you so much. Some betrayal is going on. Okay, here? Right here? Yes, sir. Dr. Omani Buama, 2,500 Ghana cedis. If you're not giving your clapping, it's 82,500. Nice. Any more? 82.5. Are there teachers who give people 82.5? They don't round it up to 83? Wow. Yes. Okay. Anonymous, 2,000 Ghana cedis. We're at 84.5. It sounds like a radio frequency. 84.5 FM. Any more? So Roger and Sumini, 1,000 Ghana cedis, 85.5. We have 1,000 here. Okay. All right, 85.5. We're almost done. We have about 6 minutes more, 7 minutes more. 85.5. Great stuff. Is there a hand? Is there a hand up there? 85.5. Okay. 85.5. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. She's doing very well, very generous. The music is working. People are giving. They're supporting the ambassador. Patrick Ohinijan, 5,000, 85.5 plus 5 is 90.5 radio gold. Radio gold. 90.5. The power station. Yeah. So we have 90,500, which is an A, right? Let's get A star. Let's go to 100. We need A star. It's an A star diplomat. A star FSO. We can do it. So we're at 90.5. It's a power production. 90.5. Madam, please don't raise your hand like that, or I'll think you are buying. Please tell Madam not to raise her hand like that. I'll think she wants to buy. I told you I'm very sensitive. Thank you. Very sensitive to buying signals. This is my job. Like those guys, if I don't buy, I don't sell, I don't get paid. Please. Yeah. All right. There's a hand. Okay. Some betrayals. He's been calling me. Oh. They betrayed you. All right, we have a contribution from I Dey Wait For You Since. What a name. I Dey Wait For You Since 2000. 92.5. I Dey Wait For You. What a name. It deserves to be a hashtag. Hashtag I Dey Wait For You Since. If Shatawale hears this, we put it into a song. I Dey Wait For You Since. All right, 92.5. We're doing well. Thank you. Let's get to 100. I never knew his middle name. Mr. Fritz Frederick Bafo. 1,000 CDs, please. 93.5. It used to be Radio Mercury. 93.5. I remember. I did jingles for them years ago. 93.5. Please give him lots of books. Yes. All right. Okay, 93.5. We're almost there. Only 6.5 left. We'll get to 100,000. You're great. Wonderful audience. Very generous. All parts of the room have been represented. They've given from everywhere. Let's do a few betrayals and we are gone, la. Ow. All right, 93.5. Any more offers? Let me go back. Yes, there's a hand up there. 93.5. We're almost 100. Well done. Great audience. Was it the tallest president? Is that the question you want to answer? Who is that?
President Paul Kagame.
President Paul Kagame is the tallest president in Africa, yes. And if you can buy me a book too, I'll be happy. Thank you. Clap for her. She got her general knowledge right. 93.5. Let's wrap it up. Who can just close it for us with a beautiful 6.5 and then we are done. The high table doesn't want to betray anybody. I like that. A very good high table. So we're at 93.5, ladies and gentlemen. I've been told I have only 4 minutes. Please help me to execute my mandate. I also, like Alaji, I don't want to be recalled very quickly. So I'm looking for, thank you. I should come round? Yes, I will come round. I'll come round. Charlie, don't stop the music. The music is helping me. Stop the music. Friends of Ambassador Tenkorang, former ambassadors, pledging 1,000 Ghana cedis. 94.5 is where we are. Thank you. Great stuff. Any more thousands and 2,000s in the house? Let's get this to 100 and then we know we're done. We're done. Some hands are coming up. So 94.5 is our target so far. Okay, yeah. Ambassador Cabral also says the tallest ambassador is the tallest president is Mr. Paul Kagame, so he confirms it. Your answer was correct. Council on Foreign Relations Ghana 2000, we're at 96.5. 96.5. Is that Obonu? Yeah, that's Obonu. Obonu FM. 96.5. All right, we're almost there. I can see the finish line. The storm is over. 96.5. Thank you. Anonymous, 1,000 Ghana cedis. We're at 97.5. Yes, 97.5. Almost there, almost there, almost there. $97.5. What an audience. Charlie, in haircut times you've given. You're great. Wonderful, wonderful. Buying signal, 97.5. Accra Aka Old Boys Association, they're pledging 500 Ghana cedis. 98,000. Only 2,000 left. And then we've done our target. Set a target and go for it. You'll get there. Okay. Oh, couple of hands. I have a feeling it's going to be a good night. I'm going to cross 100. Okay. All right. Where are we? Right here. Okay. So we're at 98. Anonymous, 2,000 Ghana cedis, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're at 100. Centenary. 100. Now we are doing into Swa. Jara. Dejila. $1,000 cedis, Peter Augustine Blay. 101. If you add 0.3 is BBC. 101,000. You're betraying some people. Happily. Osofo is betraying some people. Oh. Wow. What a headline. Osofo betrays colleagues. That's a Daily Guide headline. Oh. So this is 500 Ghana cedis, 101.5. Class of 1970, Okwapiman. I was minus 1 year old when they went to secondary school. -1. Yes. 101.5. Okay, so now we're just in Jara territory. Let's mop it up. So I've been corrected. The 70-year group that's when they finished. What? So when you started, you went there in like 60 something. They came in 60. 63. 65. Okay, I was -6. -6. I was -6. All right, so thank you so much for that. Nana Chairman graciously give us 1,000 cedis. Thank you so much. 102.5. If you're not giving your clapping. 102.5. Thank you so much. Nana Chairman and his assistant, the acting chairman. Yes, 1,000 cedis. So 102.5. I've got 2 minutes more. 2 minutes more till I'm done. Accra Academy, class of 1970-72, 1,000 cedis, 102.5 plus 100, plus 1,000 is 103.5. That's Star FM. I used to work there. Star FM, 103.5. 103.5, 103,500 cedis. Thank you. More hands. Okay, good. We're now in the 500s and the thousands. Let's just mop it up. Let's go. All right. Okay. Yes, sir. 103.5. So 103.5, 103,500. And I have some, I've never seen yen before. Very stern looking man on the note. Is that the emperor? Is that the emperor on the note? Possibly. So we have 20,000 yen here, which works out to about 2,000 Ghana cedis. So we got some yen here. From here, we're going straight to the Bank of Ghana. All right, so 105.5. Please take the yen. Yes, 105.5. We're almost done. 1 minute more. 105.5. Awesome. Thank you. President Mahama gave us 5,000 CDs, so if you add the 105.5 to the 5, it's 110,500 CDs. Okay, Mr. Publisher, Mr. Chairman, how much time do I have left so I don't spend too much time? How many books are left? Let's know. Do you have any 500s in the house? Yes, any 500s in the house. There's Kwame Last Stop. You wrote a book called Kwame Last Stop, right? There was an article like that. Yes, so we're at Kwame Last Stop right now. 500 Ghana CDs. Just raise your hands. We'll come over. We are the Kwame. Yes, 6 more. So that's 6 more at 110,000. Yes, quickly, it's going. The hands go, you take. First come, first serve. Yes, she. Yes. So 6 more at 500, and we are done. So I think I can now just hand over to the ushers, because at that I can just continue with the program. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been very gracious. Thank you so much. We raised over 110,000 CDs for Ambassador Tenkorang, supporting his first book. At this point, I'd like to bring onto the stage for the vote of thanks. The chairman's remarks, I beg your pardon. Chairman's remarks. Let's bring onto the stage our chairman for today, Osabere Manana and Sasa Sekou, the third Manfihini and Chidomhini of the Ethiopian traditional area, for his closing remarks. And then we'll have the vote of thanks. All right, I take responsibility. There was a mix-up, cock-up there. I like this Alaji Atta's word. So the cock-up is all mine. I take responsibility for the cock-up. But I bring on the publisher. He's not going to cock-up at all. He has his remarks for you, after which we hear from the chair, and we'll close the event. Thank you so much. Can the music come down, please? Thank you.
Chairman, Osabere Manana and Sasa Sekou, Manfihini and Chidomhini for Kwame. Representative of Excellency, President John Mahama, Master Haji Arunata, Master Kabrable, I'm here, Vice President of Foreign Relations Council of Ghana, the author, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's a great privilege to be able to present these books as the publishers of this magnificent book. Diplomat, Darren Lewis of a Ghanaian diplomat. I would like to thank Odishi Ambassador Kwame Tenkorang for giving DigiBooks the opportunity to publish this phenomenal, very well chronicled diary notes. It has been a great pleasure working with you through the conception, birth, and now the adoring of this great masterpiece. You have enjoyed your dedication to excellence and attention to detail through the whole period we work together. We hope that our partnership shall continue well into the future. I would also like to thank the Council of Foreign Relations for the role they played in bringing this book out. I would like to thank my wife and the team from DigiBooks for all their hard work and dedication to ensuring that this publication is such a great success. I have only one key message to give tonight. To quote from Chinua Achebe, until the lion tells his side of the story, the tale of the hunter will always glorify the hunter. The world is ignorant of Africa, and it is our responsibility to enlighten them by contributing our perspective not only in the areas of dominant academic discourse, but also depicting our attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, leave a true legacy for our children. Makugavi, the Jamaican publisher and political activist, once said, to quote, "A people without knowledge of their past, origin, and culture He said, it's like a tree without roots. And the quote from Winston Churchill, history will look kindly at me because I've written. Ambassador Tenkorang has written, so history will look kindly at him. He has shared the part he has played in building our nation, Ghana. How would history look at you, a majority of us, who have contributed immensely to building our nation, but have not written? It may sadly be interred with our rich memoirs. Ghana's history can be told through the life stories of the men and women who are in the forefront of its development. May I take this opportunity to encourage our diplomats, politicians, pastors, reverends, entrepreneurs, and all sorts of people of all walks of life to write a contribution to the nation building. It is not easy writing. A story that must be told needs to be told well. This is where DigiBooks can be of help. DigiBooks has a team of researchers who can work with you at your own pace to capture your experience in various forms on tape recordings at your own convenient time, transcribe the recordings, right for you to edit and approve. DigiBooks will then support you through the life cycle of book development, editing, book design, launch and distribution locally and internationally, and through the internet on Amazon and other portals. We have the unique opportunity, capability to develop prototype of your actual publication and work with you, the author, through the life cycle of the book. DigiBooks would like to be your publisher of choice. We are dedicated to continue driving significant contribution to Ghana and Africa's literary wealth. If you have a book to publish or thinking of publishing a book, please contact us for our services. Our details are at the back of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Labi, for your remarks. By the way, as you step out, the books are available on the desk for 200 Ghana cedis. Grab a copy for your friends, families, loved ones. We'll now take closing remarks from our chairman. He's the Mamfihini and Chidomhini of the Kwapim traditional area. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Osaberima Nana Ansa Sastraku III.
Hi. I was trying to avoid coming to the microphone to speak for three reasons. One, when you're amongst writers, journalists, and talking is their hobby, profession, you don't want to, after they've spoken, go anywhere near a microphone. Two, I didn't come with my Ochiami, so that if I made some mistakes, the Ochiami would correct them for me. And then lastly, when an Okwapman 67-year-old year group, 68-year group, 70-year group, my seniors, I'm 82. So when they have spoken, Senior Fred, 67. 68, Nana Kosija painting. 70, the Ambassador Tenkorang. Who am I to come and waste your time? Because if I do, they will home me. But Uncle Francis Poku, my own father figure, the representative of His Excellency President Mahama, Ambassador Harry Nata, Ambassador Kabra Mre, Ambassador Kwame Tenkorang, the publisher, Mr. Fred Labi, Nana Kwesi Jampinting, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm really grateful to Ambassador Tenkorang and the publisher for honoring me with the assignment here this evening. Of course, I'm sure all the Kwame quadruple affair was the reason why I'm here. And Ambassador Tenkorang did something to me in Nairobi when I went visiting one time. And I'm sure he wants to just make amends for that. I figured because of Mamfi with our Kujara, I'm a strong man. Those of you who know Kujara, you know Kujara? Yeah. Figured that, yes, I'm strong. And then I spent an evening with Ambassador Tenkorang and the places he took me to, and the next day where I found myself. I've never forgotten that night. Thank you, Ambassador. I don't want to bore us, but then I'm sure all of us would appreciate the content, the context within which this book was written. My advice and what I decided to do is that from now onwards, professionals, our various endeavors, if we began to put down notes of things that happen daily or weekly, interesting issues, interesting phenomena, there's so much we can put together to write a book as he's done. I mean, in my 25 years as chief, reading his book, if the things that have happened in these 25 years, if I had anyone to ask me or tell me to be jotting them down, I'm sure I have so much information to also put something like this together. And so, for me, for all of us, especially young, up-and-coming foreign service persons and all other professionals, let's do well to begin putting down things, and we will not be having, we'll be celebrating or publishing, launching books from various members of the society. There's so much that happens in the chieftaincy institution, and I'm sure in other professions as well. But as Ghanaians, most of us don't write, and as I was reading through the book, there are things that say, hey, see, this thing happened, and if I'd written it down, this thing happened. So, my advice, I've taken that cue, and I'm going to try to live by it. I'm sure you would also do the same. Having said that, I thank you all for making this program a success, and may God be with us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana, for your closing remarks. Very apt. And a timely reminder for those of us who haven't written our life stories. So it's my responsibility now for the vote of thanks. By God's grace, our program has come to a successful end. And I'd like to thank all of you who contributed to make it a resounding success. I'd like to also first of all, thank the Almighty God for this day, the day that He has made for the launch of the Kaya Diplomat. I'd like to thank the chairman, Nana Osaberima and Sasa Sraku, Manfihini and Chidomhini of Okuapim, for steering this program to a successful end. We want to thank his acting chairman as well for steering the affairs before handing over successfully. I want to thank the representative of His Excellency President John Mahama, Ambassador Harunata. We are really appreciative of your presence here. Ambassador Cabral Blay Amihere, Vice President of the Foreign Relations Council of Ghana. Thank you so much and you and your organization for the immense help that you rendered for this project. Hopefully, your organization will encourage members to share their contribution to the nation by also writing their memoirs. We'd like to thank the organizing committee, the ushers, musicians, Nana, the violinist, all distinguished guests who, despite their busy schedules, managed to find some time to be here physically. To all our virtual viewers on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook, we thank you 1,000-fold. Books are available at the desk for 200 CDs. After today, the books will be available at all good bookshops. Good bookshops. Yeah, raising money makes you stumble, but it's all good. Kingdom Books is one of the good bookshops. Airport Shell, and online at Amazon.com, digibookspublishing.com, and Book Nook Store. Don't leave without grabbing a book for yourself and for a friend and a friend's friends. Thank you. And on this note, I want to bring the person who started the event to close out with a prayer. Pastor Fully Adama will take us home prayerfully. It's not working? It's working.
Thank you. Let us all begin to thank God for bringing us together. It takes his strength, his own energy to make us to sit the way we sat today. Even coming here, you need strength. You need force. All comes from him. God always wanted us to be human. Wherever we gather, he visits us. So we could experience his presence this moment during the events in his story. History is God's story. So the book has happened in events of his story. Our brother, our colleague, our friend, our uncle, our daddy has played his role. I think he has opened the floodgate for books to be written now. Let us give God the glory. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you. Today too, you have demonstrated your love among us, keeping us together as your children in the land of the living. It has happened. Therefore, may your presence keep these people and bless them. Let your countenance shine upon them and let them keep them safe in their going out and their coming in. In the mighty name of Jesus. Today, in the history, even in your story, we have gathered, fully represented, according to your purpose in grace. Even though we are leaving this place today, we are not leaving your presence. Let your presence go with us. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' mighty name, we thank him. Amen.
Thank you. We're done. Thank you so much. Wishing you a safe journey back home. I don't know whether the ambassador takes selfies, but you can take some selfies with him. Yes, yeah. Ambassador, do you take selfies? Oh, there's refreshment outside. Yeah, so you can take your pictures and photos and selfies with him and everybody here on that you meet and you've met and you'd like to just immortalize the event for history. Thank you so much, all of you. We've been wonderful. We have refreshment outside. Enjoy the rest of the day. Safe journey home. God bless you all. My name is Kwame A. Happy to have been part of this event.